Hi. Since returning from the Giro d'Italia, where I got shots like these, I've had quite a few questions about what specific or speciality kit I used and what always is in my bag. So I thought I'd share with you a short video where I unpack my bag and show you exactly what I took and why I took it. I've just got back from the Giro d'Italia photographing the race, and here is the kit that I took. I had very limited packing options and space in the car that I was traveling in, so this is the bag I took. It's the Vanguard VO 49, I think. We'll see it on the other side. It's good for 2 pro kits and a bit of spare space for additional important things like cleaning kits and clothes and business cards and filters and things like that you might need. The thing I like about this bag: robust. It's got some options for expansion and external pockets, which I really like having for quick access. But let's check out what kit I took with me to the Giro d'Italia. Here we go. Vanguard VO 49. That's what I chose. It's got these fold out little pouches and things like that, which again, very, very useful. It's got a full belt system with pockets on it, but I took that off for a bit of space saving. Let's get into what went with me and what came back from the Giro d'Italia. So, one of the most important bits of kit is some form of laptop for editing. I use the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Older, dodgy eyes, I need the bigger screen for editing. I can't get away with a 13-inch. And it was another important part about choosing this bag is the 16-inch fits in there. So great piece of kit. Let's dig in and see what we've got. Bib, accreditation bib. You'll see all the photographers wearing some form of identification with a unique identifying number on it as well, so that the organisers can see who's on the course and identify you if they need to. So different colour bibs as well. Giro d'Italia, green for kind of freelancers, red for the guys and girls that are there from the big agencies like Getty, etc. And then there's an even higher tier up the hierarchy of pink bibs, which are the organisers' own staff. What's the difference, you might ask? Well, the pink bibs can go literally anywhere. They can get on the presentation stage at sign-in with the riders, with the teams, and they can be on the course anywhere they like. Completely unfettered access. Red bibs, they've got probably 95% of that. I didn't see any red bibs, and I never have seen them getting on the stage for presentations or trophies, but they can get on the course a lot easier. The third tier bibs, and it depends on the organisation which colour it is, generally you have pre-arranged locations where you can go for the race start, presentation, sign on, the race finish, etc. And it's a bit more controlled. You can't just wander around anywhere you like, and that's fair enough. Okay. The handbook, the race handbook that the organisers produced, Il Garibaldi. This is an incredible thing that they produce each year, and there's so much information in here for each stage, and it's really useful for planning where you want to be the next day, where the race is going to go. Yeah, it's absolutely essential and provides a lot of assistance with planning your project for covering the race. And it's a really high quality print production as well, you know. It's cost them obviously quite a bit of money to do that, and that's free of charge as part of your accreditation, and a fantastic souvenir to keep forevermore, no doubt. Something else organisers generally produce, especially for time trials, etc., is you often get a printout of the rider order with their start times and from that you can pretty much work out their finish times. And with that you can determine where you want to be, whether you want to be at the start for a particular rider or team, or whether you want to be at the end catching them across the line, or anywhere else on the course that you feel you want to cover. So really handy, useful bit of kit. I was concentrating my attention this year on Q36.5, so I was able to go down the list here, find the first Q36.5 rider, 127. I was able to get to cover that from the beginning of the race. Prior to that, I was at a different location where the teams were located in a car park that was sealed from the public, accredited people only, and I was doing a lot of behind the scenes coverage. But then I was able to see when I needed to leave there to get to the start time to start catching their riders. And also as well, I was able to see where I should depart the start and get to the finish to get the shots I wanted over the finish line. Because it was finishing in Pisa with the iconic Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Basilica, etc., I really wanted to make sure for some riders and teams I was at that finish line in plenty of time to get a good location with that backdrop, and this information helped me do that. Accreditation. This is something that you must have if you're going to be on the course and at certain locations. You won't gain access without it. You can see there's a QR code there. Security scan you and decide whether you're coming in or not based on what your accreditation says. Areas that you're allowed in, and this is dependent once again on that hierarchy of bib colours and where you're allowed to go, where you're not. Miniature version of the road book as well attached there, so that's very handy. You get all this information in smaller form, always on you round your neck. So that's another fantastic piece of information that the organisers provide. Right, let's dig into the kit. Most importantly for me, apart from the actual cameras, etc., is I always take a large microfiber towel like this, because if the weather is unkind and it's wet, although the Canon L series Pro kit is deemed weather resistant or moisture resistant, what they won't say, and it's absolutely fair, no technology company will generally say this, they won't say it's waterproof. What does that mean? Well, that means if your kit gets wet and it stops functioning, they can decline warranty coverage if they want to, because they've not said they cover it for waterproofness. So if there is water ingress in your lens or in your body, you know, it could end up being a costly repair. Now, I've never had problem with Canon kit in the wet and the moisture, but I do like to mitigate by having a bit of a towel on me that is not for cleaning, it's purely for wiping the moisture off before I put my camera back inside, say, my waterproof jacket. So it's hanging on a Black Rapid dual harness system, but I have a Gore-Tex jacket over the top to kind of cover the cameras when they're not being used and keep most of the rain off of them. But this just serves to keep the kit as dry as possible, especially with, and I'll come on to it in a second, external zoom lenses where they concertina in and out externally, because when you retract that, although again it's weather sealed, there is still a possibility you're going to draw moisture in there. You certainly can draw dust in there, so I believe you can draw moisture in there also. So I like to wipe that barrel first of all before I retract the lens and put it away. So that's why I always have one of these on me, usually in a hip pocket or in a cargo sort of trouser left leg pocket, somewhere where it's really easily accessible. Camera in my right hand, let's say, and I can just reach down, grab this out, give it a wipe over, stuff this away without thought, and then camera can sling back onto my hip. Right, okay, let's delve deeper into what we got here. Small cleaning cloth for the obvious, and alongside that, little retractable lightweight brush. The other end's got a nice cleaning pad as well for any really stubborn kind of finger marks or anything like that. shouldn't have those, shouldn't be putting your fingers on your lens, but there you go, things happen, don't they, in the heat of battle. So I've got those, the ubiquitous puffer, and I like to use this stuff. It's called Whoosh or Whoosh. It's basically for cleaning screens and lenses and things on computers. I like it. It's a really kind, gentle cleaner. So again, that goes in my cleaning kit. Right, waterproof outer for the bag. I like having this with me for two reasons. One, in a monsoon, this protects the kit, but two, it's just an additional layer of padding on the kit as well. So it's a dual function thing. Likewise, waterproof jacket for camera and lens. I've got two of these. I think I lost one in Italy, so I'll probably have to buy another one. But these are the cheapy ones. I think they're about 15 quid. Canon do the real pro ones that look fantastic, but they're a chunk of change, so I've not got one of those. Right, let's move on to lenses. I've got in here the main lens I like to shoot on with cycling, which is the RF 2.8 70 to 200. I love this lens. It's such a great workhorse. It produces great results most of the time in most circumstances, and that 70 to 200 range is fantastic for things like cycling. I'm never that far away from the action with cycling, so I don't need anything, you know, 400, 500, 600 length. It's not like Formula 1 or MotoGP where you are quite a long way from the action. With cycling, you're usually right on or next to the track. It's mostly on public roads, and 70 to 200 covers pretty much all of it. If I do need to get in really close on something, and I haven't got a longer lens with me, one of my bodies is an R5 Mark II, and with the high 45 megapixel resolution there, cropping is not too much of an issue. And because I rarely come across the problem of not filling the frame enough, I really rarely have to crop, so it's not usually a problem. So nice and small, nice and light for what it does. Fantastic imagery, brilliant autofocus on it, fantastic free mode stabilizer on it as well. So yeah, I love this. It pretty much does everything I want. The one thing I will say though is what I spoke about with the cloth and the wet. This is an externally telescoping lens. There you go. So if this gets wet and you instantly do that and put your camera away on your hip or back in your bag, God forsake, you could have a lot of moisture stuck in here and going into here. So that's why I have the cloth. Give it a quick wipe around, maybe a quick wipe over here as well, then it goes away. Right, it's just a couple of seconds, and for me it's a bit of peace of mind that the kit's going to be looked after the best it can be. Right, next lens that I took to Italy, the other workhorse, the 24 to 70 2.8. Another fantastic all-round lens. I love this lens also. It gets some really crisp images, and I use this a hell of a lot in Pisa at the end of the TT when the rain came down, the clouds were dark, and it really turned daylight almost into nighttime. And with the wide shots that I was trying to get, I needed something that was going to be a fast lens, and the 2.8 really helped out. So yeah, fantastic little bit of kit as well. And again, they're both quite small and compact for what they offer. So as you can see, it all fits nice and easily into this space. Bodies. R5 Mark II with the battery grip on here. Fantastic bit of kit. The autofocus on this I think is second to none. The battery grip on here does make it heavier, but it also gives it quite a nice bit of balance, and it's really useful for portrait orientation shots, because you have all of the controls duplicated on here that you have on the body. So instead of reaching over like this and trying to take awkward shots, you're back to exactly what you're used to here. So nice and handy. 2 batteries in there compared to the one that you can fit in the body. You've got double the length of use time. So I never worry about running out of battery power and swapping batteries like I do in the other body here. And I do think that's a very useful addition. There's pros and cons to it, but of course you can remove it easily. Just twist of that, pull it out, put the door back on, which is just a clip system, and that's it. 30 seconds and you convert it from this to standard body if you want to. But yeah, for me, that's a really useful addition. Oh, one thing I want to say, R5 Mark II, I think I mentioned autofocus is incredible, incredibly sticky, incredibly fast, but it's also incredibly smart. Now with the cycle racing, what you often get is you're focusing on one rider and they're in a peloton and they suddenly go behind another rider and then they're out the other side. And on some cameras, AF, what that will do is it will lock onto the rider you want, and then it will lose them as they go behind the other, and it will lock onto someone else. And then when your rider comes out, you're now not focused on them. So what that does is, as your rider goes behind, it's smart enough to figure out that they're going to re-emerge, and it stays locked onto them. It's absolutely incredible, very smart. So yeah, well done Canon. The second body is an R6 Mark II, and again, for what this is, the bang for the buck, the money, it's an incredible camera. Fantastic AF, not as smart as the R5 II, but it is very fast and it's very accurate. It just doesn't do the predictive stuff that the R5 does. Viewfinder's a bit smaller and not quite as bright, but it still produces amazing shots. 24 megapixels, so it doesn't have the resolution of the R5, which is absolutely fine if you're not cropping. There's no problem with that. I've got shots blown up and there's no problem unless you're going to zoom in like 400, 500, 600% to a blown up shot and look at individual pixels. There is no problem with this body. This is a fantastic bit of kit, and yeah, no problem with that. It's a great backup kit and it's incredibly light as well, so I love that. Flash, I've got a speed light in there, but I didn't use it at all at the Giro. I wished I'd have had it in Pisa when the light started going, but I'd left the bag in the car, put the dual harness on, had the cameras hanging from me, and off I went. So yeah, flash was back in the car, unfortunately. But yeah, this is what I use. I use something that, you know, many other pros use, which is the Black Rapid dual system. Fits into the camera bodies like this. You've got, well, they call it a quick release carabiner system here, and it's a dual sort of security system because you have this gate. I never use this. I find it takes longer to do that, to unhook it, than just leaving it all done up and secure and just undoing it there and taking the body off that way. It's, yeah, but there you go, you got the options. That's also a fantastic bit of kit, and once you have dialed it into your size and shape, it's very, very comfortable, and you barely know you're wearing it. And both cameras are hanging on my hips and are therefore instantly accessible just either side of me, you know. And because they're so secure, if I'm taking a shot with one and I need to switch to the other, I can almost drop it and just grab the other without having to think about latching it onto something. Battery charger, obviously. The R5 charges via USB-C externally. Sorry, the R5. The R6 doesn't, so the R6 batteries get charged there. The R5 2 batteries stay in situ, and I just plug a USB-C in and that charges that. And I think that is about it. I have spare cards, I have business cards, pen, paper, a few other bits and pieces like that, nothing of import, but that's the bulk of it. If you go onto my website and look at the results I got from the Giro, it was from these 2 bodies and these 2 lenses and nothing else. So I hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions about kit, what you should, what you shouldn't take to a race or an event, feel free to drop a comment below, and why not let everyone else know while you're there what you carry, what you take to a sporting event, what's critical to you, what's a nice luxury to have for you, what you would leave out of my kit if you were covering a race. I'd love to hear. That's it. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this. It all helps promote the channel, and therefore I can do more of these.